Buddy, it's Audrey. It's getting to be that time again. Time to do some holiday photos. The music's on the radio, the commercials are on TV. So I'm breaking out some Christmas stuff, and this is for Therm, and we've teamed up with Echo Park this week. So I am using the I Love Christmas collection, the new Christmas collection from Echo Park, and I'm going to use some deco foil as well. So I've printed out two photos of my kiddos, and I also created a cut file that is a Christmas present, and I had these pictures of the kids opening presents, and I thought it would be fun to do a little Christmas present with some bows and ribbon that were made out of the shiny, beautiful deco foil. So I'm going to go with a grid design and use my two photos and then create two presents as well. I was going to use this kind of striped pattern paper that had all the colors in it, and then ground my photos with some white to help them stand off the background. So you can see my deco foil here. I've actually used the toner sheets, which are sheets that you run through a laminator with the foil on top. And I always foil the sheets first and then cut, instead of cutting out of the toner sheets and then foiling. And if you want more instructions on how to use the deco foil with the toner sheets, there's a lot of that information on the Therm blog, so you can go there and check it out. So I cut out these bows, and then I trimmed the squares to match the size. The cut file itself has squares to cut out that are to size with the bows. So as you increase the size of the bows, you have to increase the size of the square shape for the present as well. But I just cut it out by hand. So I love the way that those bows came out on the present. It's so pretty. It would also look really pretty on a card as well. So I'm experimenting with different colors for the presents. I decided to go with the greens because I thought the background was kind of heavy on the red, but I do end up changing one of the greens because it was just too much. And then I realized I had cut a piece of cardstock, white cardstock, for the background initially, and it was just too small. I should have planned a little bit better before I cut, but it was a little too small, so I decided to go with a little bit of a bigger piece of white cardstock for the background, for the base rather. So I've got the presents, I've got the photos. That's kind of how I'm going to lay it out, and it's a pretty simple design. I've been really doing a lot of grid designs lately, but I wanted to jazz up these presents and add a couple more embellishments and stuff to different areas to give it a little bit more interest. So I'm going through the sticker sheet. I found a couple little tags, or sticker tags, to put on the presents. It's kind of like gift tags. And I know I'm going to put my title down here underneath, and then my journaling on the bottom as well. I wanted to say something about presents, but there's a sticker on these sheets that say joy, because the kids have the look of pure joy on their face. Now, I know, Christmas isn't all about presents, and the joy part doesn't come from opening presents, but for my kids it does. Well, that's not necessarily true, but it's not the only joy that we get from Christmas. But in this particular case, they were really happy with the presents they were getting, so they do have a look of joy on their face. So I wanted to do something else too with the title. I wanted to do like presents and then maybe put an equal sign, but I end up finding one of the sticker sheets has an arrow that I'm going to use to put in between there, so that it's presents, arrow, joy. On one of the pattern papers, there was a little tag that said December, and that was perfect for the top photo, a little tag there. And then I felt like I needed to have something like a solid color behind this white to make it pop off the background a little bit. So I kind of play with different arrangements of where I'm going to put the solid color behind the white to make it stand off that lined, striped background. And then there I changed out also the pattern paper for the present because I went a little bit more variety in the green. I go ahead and glue my photos down. I'm using the Therm Mixed Media Liquid Adhesive. I want to say something about the liquid adhesive because I know some people, it has been mentioned before that somebody has used this glue and it warped their paper beyond being salvaged, I guess. This is a liquid glue, which means it's water-based. So if you use too much of it, it is going to warp your paper. You just gotta, and all you really need is a teeny, teeny, tiny bit. And it also helps, I don't really do this, but if you do get like a big glob of glue on whatever you're gluing, it also really helps to spread the glue out thin in a thinner layer. And it really won't warp if you only use a tiny bit. You do not need a lot. It's really just a teeny tiny bit of glue. I love this glue. I use it on everything. I mean, if you watch my videos, you see that I use it on everything. So I've never had a problem with it. And plus, a lot of scrapbooking paper nowadays is very thick. If you're using, some of the, big name store papers that are very, very thin and not as sturdy as some of the, I guess, brand name scrapbooking papers, then yes, you might get a lot more warping in your papers. But if you use a heavier kind of paper, you won't get the warping as much with the liquid glue. So anyway, back to my page. So I move that word presents around like 3 or 4 times. So, I have it all set up nice on my ruler, and then I take it off, and then I end up moving it around like 3 times. But oh well. So this piece of paper was the one I cut the green. It was where I cut the December little tab out from, but I wanted to use the green for my background. So it kind of has a little hole in it, but I just fill it in with a piece of scrap paper. You don't even notice it. Actually, in the final page, it's hardly, like I said, you can't even see it. And I am cutting out the middle because you never know. I might use that's a little bit more of that stripe paper. So you see over on the right there, right underneath my sleeve where that little bit of green was missing, I'm just going to take a scrap and cut it and fill it in. Okay. So I definitely like how the green has helped ground that white cardstock better. But I felt like the edges here, the right and left sides, were very unbalanced because it was kind of out of proportion because I'm going to have my title go all the way down and my journaling go all the way down. So I end up cutting off the sides of the white a little bit, which I'll do here in a minute. And I'm just going through to find a couple other little embellishments to add. Okay, here's where I go and cut off just a 1/2 inch on each side. About, I almost cut too much right there. And then I measured twice and then cut once. So I like that better because I don't know. I think it helps the flow better. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but to me it did. And then I felt like I needed to fill that in with something else on the side, so I'm going to go ahead and use some red strips of paper. Okay, again, I'm cutting out the center of this paper because you never know, I might use that too. If you look at my stash of Christmas scrapbooking supplies, I really don't need to be saving the insides of these papers because I have paper that will last from here until I stop scrapbooking, whenever that may be. I don't think that's happening. Okay, so I'm going to go fill that little green piece in. Voila, I can't even see it. Done. I love distressing the edges of my page. I'm just going to, on the white, I'm just going to do the left and right edge and then not worry about the top edge. I actually meant to go stitch down these edges, but I totally forgot to do that. So I guess that means that I didn't really need it if even on my finished page I didn't notice that I hadn't stitched. So it's fine. I'm going to do these borders instead. I'm actually using a punch, a regular border punch. I use my die cutting machine so much my punches have become forgotten sitting over in my basket in my scrap space. So fill those in. I love that. And I do go back and add some doodling on there to help the red stand out a little bit more. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to, glue everything down and use some pop dots to pop off some of the little stickers and stuff. Oh, I do something so ridiculous here. So the striped paper and the green paper have a big hole in the background. And then I go to glue this part down and I put glue all over the whole back of it and I'm like, oh, duh. There's a big hole. I can't. It's gonna stick to my table if I do that. So I kind of just wipe the glue off with my finger, and then luckily the surface of my desk there is kind of like this laminate, white laminate stuff. It's like a contact paper, so it doesn't really, stuff doesn't stick to it very well. So it does just peel out right up. But that was silly of me to do that. Okay, adding the little bits. I'm going to speed this part up a little bit because it's just me gluing. Okay, so that part's done. I'm going to add in some lines now for my journaling. Going to restick those stickers down again. And there we go. So yeah, I'm just going to add some journaling lines right underneath the title. And I wish I don't know, I used a textured cardstock, so my journaling came out a little bit messy. I should have used just a smooth cardstock. I'm adding some doodles here to the red edge with my white pen. And then I looked at it, thought I was done, and then I thought, you know what, I need a little bit more. Those little sticker tags with the little like hole at the end, it looks like it needs a brad or twine. So I just grabbed some red and white twine and I just kind of wove it through the sticker, wrapped it around the bow, and just left the ends dangling. By the way, I purposely left the tops of the bow cut files up, which you'll see in the close-up here. And there's my finished page. Actually, this is such a quick and super quick and easy, simple page. Love what the foil does for those presents. So super cute. So I'm going to put the link for the free cut file in the comments below, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much. See you soon.